Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to my live. So, I've got an early morning live. I know you haven't seen me here in a while, but I'm here to update you on what's going on with my project and with me, and just a little bit of background info as to why I've been missing or MIA. So, it wasn't on purpose, wasn't intentional in any way. So, you probably have seen my title. And my title is definitely everything that has to do with me leading up to today's presentation. So it's definitely the update on my Guyana project. It's definitely the health care that I went through, and then of course, just to update you on what's going on with my launch. So thank you for joining me whenever you do. You'll see this update, all right? And if anyone comes in on the live, so that'll be good. That's always good. All right. So I'm Donette. As you know, I've been in this process of repatriation towards, going back to my home country. And I've been documenting the process. I have also, been talking to you guys about my project, which is going on, um, which is continuing at this point, which is my bistro and lounge. And I've been documenting the amount of money I've spent and kind of encouraging other people to know that they can do the same. And that, you just have to make a decision on what's important to you and why is it that you want to invest in your home country, not only to see growth. For me, it's not only to see growth, but also to be able to definitely, there is something wonderful about being able to just give back to where you're from. Anyway, so welcome once again. And it's about maybe 75 degrees outside, so it's pretty warm. I am in Miami, Florida, or in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Two different locations, but it's still South Florida. And I just finished up lecture, so I said, you know what, I haven't been here in a while, so let me drop in. So first of all, yes, the project is still continuing and it's still going to be launched this year. And then second, wanted to talk to you a little bit about my health scare. So and things slowing down. So basically, about maybe 2 months, 2.5 months ago, I just started experiencing a little bit of discomfort, and I honestly just kind of, in my body, and I just kind of ignored it. And, for so many of us women who have gone through this, I'm just finding out that so many of us have gone through, tubal ligation, and, and so many of us don't talk about it. And then particularly amongst Black women, we don't talk about it as much. I think maybe because we see it as a normal thing, that because it's happened so much. So, for me, it was new. Obviously, I've got my three children, so I don't need to worry about having more kids. But I could imagine for a person who is younger than I am, who is looking to have children, that must be a scary proposition to have to go through. And so I don't mind sharing my journey in terms of, just making that, having to come to the point where I have to remove my tubes, and then also eventually, of course, during that process, I also removed my ovaries. And I'll share that because I think that so many women need to know. And the other thing that we also need to be aware of is that if you have, and this is just in kind of having a little conversation here, but if you have removed your tubes at any point, I did not know that once you remove your tubes, your ovaries is literally, open towards, if you ever become cancerous, or you ever become, you ever have ovarian cancer, you would never know that you have ovarian cancer because you no longer have tubes to alert you. That means basically what would happen is that you wouldn't know that you have ovarian cancer all the way until the end. So the decision between my PCP, my private care physician, and my the person who performed my surgery was to remove my ovaries as well. Now, your ovaries pushes you. If it's removed, it obviously pushes you into menopause earlier. So that's something that you have to deal with, but that's better than dealing with later on possibly being diagnosed with ovarian cancer and not knowing that you have it because you no longer have your tubes. You don't have a tubes to tell you that there's something wrong. And I found that all out from my doctor, who is my PCP. I mean, an incredible doctor. Love this guy, Indian Jamaican man. But he is just, let me tell you, he knows everything. I swear. There hasn't been a time when he's been wrong. He sent me to get uh, a second opinion on my growth that I was having, and then of course it was so huge that that GYN sent me to another GYN who can actually deal with that size growth, not only the size of the growth, but also the fact that he would need to also look for cancer in case that something like that showed up, because nobody wants to be stitched back up and you have cancer in your body. So of course no cancer was found. So basically what we did is we removed both the ovaries as well as the tubes as well as the ovaries, because the fibroids were so huge. Because I think they just kind of went, like, I knew I had them about 2 years ago. I knew I had them, and I think I probably had them since in my 20s, to be honest with you. But it never bothered me, and they were so small. And not only that, when I checked it 2 years ago, before the pandemic started, it was like fingertip, like really small. That's how little it was. So there was no need to mess with it. It didn't impact my periods. It didn't impact. Um, I didn't have pain. I didn't have, clotting. I didn't have a lot of that stuff. So for me, it was, just kind of a normal process of, well, my period would fluctuate from middle of the month to end of the month to, whatever it was. But it wasn't so, it was still 7 days. So I had a normal 7 day period throughout this all. Like a lot of people say that they have, all sort of either it flowed too much or whatever. Only thing I noticed was that my the time of urination increased a whole lot, so it would be constant bathroom for me, and not being able to control my pee pee. So it was like, oh my God, I gotta pee, and then got to the bathroom and then peed, and and if I don't watch it, I'll get there before start peeing before I got there. Like, okay, so that wasn't cool. But again, I didn't know what was wrong, because I didn't expect that from 2019 to 2021 something could grow that big. And I was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, about 2 months ago, what happened was that my period kind of just like it started, no, a couple of months, 4 months ago or so, it started moving. It went to the end of the month, so it would start, like, say, the 28th of the month, and then it would go over to like the third of the new month. So now I'm like, what is that? But I'm like, you know what, I'm getting older. I'm 48. I'm getting older, my body is changing. I also noticed that my stomach was higher, but of course it's COVID, and COVID means that you put on some weight. So I started thinking, okay, well, it has to do with, with my with the fact that COVID is, just impacting. It's impacted a lot of people. Most people gained about 15 pounds. I definitely gained about 15 to 20 pounds. So, it wasn't like oh wow, a surprise. Even though I was exercising, I wasn't doing it in the gym, and of course, COVID lockdown, and I was barely going to the churchyard next to me to exercise so I can get outside. All right. So with that said, I saw that there was an increase in my tummy, but it wasn't that large. So I started exercising, of course. And what I noticed is that everything was going. My, tummy was the only thing that stayed steady, like it wouldn't go down at all. And I was saying to my cousin, who I'm in the exercise program with, well, this is really weird. Like, why would everything else go? My legs got thinner, my butt threw off, but the tummy isn't going anywhere. Anyway, with that said, I just kind of said, okay, well, there's definitely something wrong, and I need to do something about it. But I had a wedding. I had this big well, there were plans to go to Jamaica, and then also go to, I had a big wedding to do out in Miami. So the wedding was about 250 people. So what happened with that was that I did the wedding. It was a very stressful weekend, and then by the time I got to, my husband was already in Jamaica. With friends and family for another wedding, which I was supposed to help out, and I did. And so I'm here by myself, and just trying to get this wedding done. Now, with all that, I was overly worked and not stressed out because I don't get stressed easily. I'm really good on working projects and getting it done effectively. So I'm in, I got this wedding done on the Saturday. and this is September 4th, I believe it was. Um, and then we flew off to Jamaica. And then I flew off to Jamaica to meet my husband. And this is all day Saturday. I'm working. I'm working from the Thursday because you got to prepare everything from the storage unit to everything else. And then you got to wash things. You got to make sure everything is good. So I got to doing this wedding, like I said. Then finally Sunday morning, I'm flying out, ready to fly out to Jamaica. Don't know why I got this wonderful idea to drive to the airport and park there, so we'll have a car when we come back in instead of taking an Uber. Terrible idea. It was the holiday weekend, and it was crowded, no parking. So my stress level went up like right away. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss my flight. Can't miss my flight because my husband is already upset that I'm coming in late because we really planned this, and then I took on a wedding and he wasn't happy. So I'm like, okay, I've got to get to Jamaica. This man is waiting. He's already mad at me for not being there with him the day that I was supposed to be, which is 2 days prior. Okay, so now we are, I'm at the airport driving around and around and around. And then I finally begged the girl. I said, listen, can you please let me in to the employee park? And she said, no, you can't come in. So then now she's like, but if you just see a spot anywhere, you can just park, like literally just create your own park. And I'm like, really? So, I went hunting. So now I'm looking for a parking that I can, as long as I'm safe. So then I saw this little area, like off area, and I'm like, okay, because I can't go through the barricade. But if I drove into the area, I can reverse back. And I'm like, perfect. So I parked there because I saw these other girls did it as well, but they were more out. They didn't have to go through what I went through. So then they took the last spot before it was blocked off, the entrance. So I just kind of went through and then reversed back. Anyway, got that done. Had to got into the airport. They're stressing me out. The girl is like, oh, well, maybe you'll miss your flight. I'm like, oh, no, please. Then finally she said, no, 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 you're fine. I got my boarding pass, headed to the plane, of course, and sat there about 20 minutes before they even boarded. So that's how ridiculously, and I'm usually really good with, staying calm or whatever, but because everything was so high stress. So anyway, I'm getting to going to Jamaica. Had a great time in Jamaica. I emceed a wedding for a very good friend for about 3 hours. And didn't really, my body is telling me something, but I don't know what's really wrong. I noticed in Jamaica when I put on my bathing suit and my cover up, that my stomach still it looked like I've never seen it before. So I was like, wow, this is strange. But I'm like, okay, I'm just getting off my period anyway. So whatever. Okay, didn't worry about it. Got to, coming back. Well, as soon as I got to Jamaica, we had to do COVID tests because you have 3 days to get it done, to 72 hours. So mine was due like right away as soon as I got in. So that's another stressful situation. Just trying to get there, get online, fill out the application to do it, all sort of stuff you have to go through. But anyway, I held it down nicely. Me and my husband got it done because he was waiting on me to get it done. um, then just went off to doing this wedding the next day, decorating, helping to decorate. Thank God it wasn't a whole lot to do. And then also MCing for like 3 hours. Got that done. Came back at the airport. They wanted to throw out my $10. Bought something for my hair for like $10. She decided she wants to throw it out because I didn't put it in my suitcase that went under. And I decided I'm not going to let you throw my thing out, and you're not going to get it either. So I would rather throw it in the garbage myself before you get it. So now I'm stressed out all over again. But I had a great time. at at the resort. So it was a all inclusive resort. Had a blast, honestly. So I got to the airport, and this is what's going down. And I'm like, nope. Well, I'll go back out and throw it out because you're not getting my $10 stuff. I didn't tell her that, but that's what I thought. Got outside. Anyway, I caught my bag. The guy was able to put it in because he still had it sitting there because I was complaining before that I wanted to take it on the plane, because I told him if anything happens to my bag, you're going to be responsible for it. I'm filing a claim at the thing because it was white, and I had it covered, and that's one of the reasons why it's not white, it's cream, but one of the reasons why I usually carry that particular bag on the plane because I know, you put it under, it can get really messy. And you pay a lot of money for luggage. So you try not to get it all soiled up or whatever. And the ones that go under, I usually have it in black or brown, because, you know what happens when it goes under. It's different. Even though I often have it covered, it still can go awry. So I said, okay, no problem. Anyway, I caught him. He was able to put it in my suit. I was able to put it in my suitcase. Came back, and they're stressing me because apparently they whispered to the folks upstairs that I came back in and I didn't come back to the same line. Why would I go back to the same line? You just stressed me out. So I'm going to go to a different line. So I went to a different line, but they thought that I still had the thing in my purse, but I didn't. I'd already put it in. So when I got upstairs now, they were like, "Oh, well, we got to check you," and they're going through my handbag, and I'm like, and my husband is standing there, but I really didn't even realize that's what they were doing. I guess they just told them, and they were checked, and they went through my whole bag, stressing me out. But I didn't say a word. I just stood there because I was like, okay, it's just a random check. They didn't find it because obviously it was already underneath, going through whatever processes it has to. And then they're like, "Oh, well, have a nice day." I'm like, "Okay, you do too." So I just kept going. My husband is like, "Oh, you know what that's about, right?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, they're trying to find your hairspray thing." I was like, "Oh." I said, "That's already gone." I said, "And I wouldn't have brought it back in anyway. I would have threw it out because I wasn't going to give them it. You see what I'm saying? So I would rather just throw it out instead of having them get it." So because they were giving me such a rude time, trying to pass it through because I didn't think it was that much of a big deal. But anyway, they have policies, and I respect it. But I don't like the fact when they take your things because a lot of times most of the times what they do is they take it for themselves. So I would rather just throw it in the garbage. That's the way I see it. Unless somebody say, "Hey, can I have it?" and they can't. So that's different, right? So, but I know they can't. So therefore, they just want to take my things. So I would rather throw it out. Got outside, got on the plane, came back to Fort Lauderdale. Everything was good. About a couple of days later, I came back and it's 90 something degrees that night, actually. So it's not even a couple of days, a couple of hours later, 90 something degrees. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I am shivering. I put my heat on in 90 something degrees weather. And I'm just shivering. I'm drinking tea, everything. And I'm sitting in front of my fireplace. And it's just hot as hell. But I am freezing. I said, "No, there's something wrong." So my husband now is standing at the door. He's so silly. He's like, it's just standing, when I'm in bed. And he's like, "Oh, well, do you have this symptoms? Do you have that symptoms?" So he's thinking I have COVID. I said, "Listen, I know I don't have COVID. My body has been drained and I don't understand what's happening." I said, "I know it's something is wrong, but I couldn't figure it out. Well, now I have to get to the doctor for real." So, and I've been avoiding the doctor. I went last year, got my GYN done. So I'm a avid GYN person. So I take care, and I'm an avid doctor person. But ever since the pandemic, I've been trying to avoid going too often. So, but I did go. I saw the physician assistant last year. She did my pap smear, and everything came back okay. However, I don't know what it was about this year that the spirit just kept telling me, "Hold on, don't go yet. Just wait because there's something more serious going on, and you're going to need to see your real doctor, not not the physician assistant. And I love to see the physician assistant these days because she gets me in and out. My doctor takes about 2 hours, 3 hours to get to me, and I cannot stand it. So I'm like, so the I swear, when God is involved, you just have to let him do his thing. And the Lord knows I am that type to go to Katrina and let Katrina just kind of say, yes, everything is okay. Go home, you're fine. As long as my blood work is good, my pap is good, that's all I'm looking for. I know nothing else. I feel nothing else is going on, so I'm good. If it's I get my annual breast exam, or whenever it is my mammogram, I do that. So I'm usually on point with those things. However, from 2019 to 2020, once I did everything in 2019, 2020 slowed down, but I still saw the doctor in 2020. Um, or that would have been early 2020, no, late 2020. I'm sorry, not early, late 2020, like around October. So come um, time for me to see the doctor in 2021, and the spirit is just saying, no, don't go yet, don't go yet, there's something serious happening, and you need to see the doctor. And if you go, you're just going to see Katrina as you always do, and Katrina is just going to send you home, and you're going to think everything is okay, but everything isn't okay. And my husband kept saying to me, well, why aren't you going to the doctor? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I just don't feel like it. And you know what? That taught, or that, well, let's say that the spirit speaking to me was what literally drove me to going through what I went through, in order for me to be able to not to end up in surgery with a tumor, not a tumor, but this fibroid that was so huge. Um, when you see the picture of what I looked like the week before I went into surgery, compared to even a month before, it's exceptionally different. Like literally, I took a picture with my tummy, and that was like 2 weeks before. I'm sorry, a month and a half before. Because remember, I think I said, and well, I said earlier that I was in an exercise plan with my cousin, and so we were taking pictures, sending to each other. So this one picture that I had showed, what I had, my body that I had. I had on a leggings and a top, and everything is fitted tight. You don't see an extra 5 month looking tummy. What you see is just a tummy, right? You see a normal tummy that needs some work, but not a 5 months looking tummy. And when I took that picture the week before I went into surgery, and this is what the first GYN said to me, that I went to, where my doctor PCP sent me to, and he said, "Go to him because he's an excellent doctor." Guy looked at me, examined my fibroid, and said, "I cannot do this surgery. You got to go to someone else who's even more skilled than I am." This is how big this thing was. Don't know how in the hell any fibroid or anything can grow that big. He said, "You're going to have to go to another doctor, especially another physician who is absolutely great at his work. And he's one of the best here in South Florida." Ended up going to this guy. He said, "My God." And he said, "You've got to get this thing out right away." So, anyway, within 2 weeks' time of me doing everything that I had to, because y'all know, I don't know how many have been through surgery, or know someone that's been through surgery, but it's a whole bunch of testing and making sure everything is okay, getting ready for the hospital, getting ready, all the pre-op stuff, everything you got to do, paperwork with the insurance, all that stuff you got to get done. And it brings into thought to me about insurance and how important it is. And I've always told my husband how important it is. I'm insured through my husband because he's got not only cheaper insurance but better insurance. He's got better insurance for cheaper than I have, than I would have at my job. So I opted to use his, not only because it's better, but because it's more financially sound. So with that said, got everything ready, and within the 2 weeks period went into surgery. Honestly, I was kind of scared, to be honest with you. It was a scary time. I've got so many things prepared for my life, and God knows only we have our own thoughts and what our lives look like, but then the Lord has his own thing in mind. I mean, I didn't think he was ready for me, but I honestly didn't know. And I think even though this is a surgery that so many women go through all the time, Black women in particular, we go through it all the time. And this is for those of us coming in, I'm talking about just full tubal ligation, just removing everything. And um, it was quite scary. And I think what happened to me was that I had lost my aunt about maybe 21 years ago or so. I lost an aunt. She had just became a lawyer, and she went in for a simple procedure, and we looked exactly alike. We were like twins, and so I had a very hard time with that. But she went in through for a simple procedure, and they cut her. I believe it was her liver that they cut, and these were the student doctors. Um, and then they sent her home because it was such a simple procedure. I believe it was just removing of gallstones, and she ended up at 31 years old. She didn't make it, of course, because the liver, of course, is responsible for filtering all the stuff in our body, all our excess, um, everything that you need to that doesn't need to be in there. And once it starts, so the body start poisoning itself, and she eventually passed away. Um, a very, very sad situation, devastating situation. And I struggled with that for quite some time. Went into like a really sad phase of my life. Just we were best of friends, and even though we were aunt and niece, we were best of friends, and that devastated me. I think it kind of remind me of what happened to her, and so I asked for a lot of prayers during that time. And so that because I just didn't know what would happen. Anyway, so I'm here. I was back in class the following week because I do, I'm home. I'm still at home. I'm still doing Zoom. So I was happy about that because I didn't need to take off a whole bunch of time. But the healing, let me just say something. Prayers do work. I think everyone is kind of shocked at how well I healed and how quickly I healed. Even though I had my entire gut opened up, my healing within by the second week, I was already like fully ready to just move around as I felt like it, not running, not jumping, not doing any of those stuff, but literally getting up on my own, doing whatever. The first weekend, I should say, I stayed in bed at the hospital, of course. I had the surgery the Wednesday. No, I should say I stayed in bed within the couple of days I went to the hospital. I had the surgery the Wednesday, stayed in bed, of course. When we were done with surgery, Thursday, Friday. By Thursday, I was already getting up because they want you to be up and walking around. They don't want you in bed, obviously. And I've got done C sections before with two of my sons, so I kind of know the procedure from that. Anyway, but this is a larger gap in your tummy now because it was so big that they had to cut all the way up under your breast area. So that is obviously traumatic on the body. But nothing like a prayer or nothing like prayers. Lots of people prayed for me, and I appreciate those prayers. Anyways, with that said, I am back to being normal again, or almost normal. I'm still healing. This was only about 3 weeks ago that I had this surgery, and I am now in my third week of healing, but doing quite well. Um, Really in a good mood. They're expecting, I don't know, well, or maybe I'm expecting some sort of mood swings or whatever. But I am not claiming it because I don't want it. So I'm just praying to God that everything continues to work well with my body. And even though I can feel cramping here and there, I can drink some Tylenol when that happens. And, but anyways, I just wanted to share that. And I think oftentimes, because so many women had this surgery, and I did not know my sister had it. I didn't know because she's by my dad's side, so we're close, but not as, I don't know if we're that close. I don't know, because she's younger than I am. She was born here. I think that she just likes to gravitate to her mom's side of the family there. You know, I don't know. It is what it is. Anyways, but she never told me that she had it until like I called her when I was going through mine because I wanted to know what happened with other women in my family. And I wanted them to know what I was going through so that way they understand that these things can possibly happen to them because it's good to talk to other women in your family so that way they understand what your body's going through, whether it's cancer or whatever. Found out that two of her cousins have cancer too. And these girls are both young. They're younger, and I'm older than all of them, of course, but they're young girls. They're in their 40s, like 38 to 42. And so to find out that they both have one have ovarian cancer, one have some other type of cancer. And so my sister is now saying she's going back in to remove her ovaries because she doesn't trust that because of the mom side of the family that's where that came from. And so it missed her mom's generation, but now it's coming to her generation, which is her and her cousins, and these are all women. And so now we found out that two of the cousins who she grew up with, and I, like I said, I know all of them, and we were very close growing up. Well, I kind of, were like big sister to everybody. And so now we know that those two girls have cancer, and one is at stage 4 and the other one I think is at stage 2. So why are we staying quiet about these issues and why are people hiding? I don't know, but I think these things need to be talked about. And if you're a woman who have removed your tubes, then do know to keep checking on your ovaries over time. Do not let it just sit there because if there's testing out there, check it out, because I said earlier that the tubes is what I found out from my doctor. The tubes is what give you an alert that there's something wrong with your ovaries. Ovarian cancer is very, very, it will wipe you out in 4 to 5 months. My cousin died from it. So for me, it's really, and then of course, I follow people online who I know die from, you know, like my friend Vanessa, who's very much alive, but when she got diagnosed many many years ago, she became an advocate for women with in terms of cancer, ovarian cancer, and so on. So every couple of weeks, I can see how so many women have who die from this virus, this disease. I'm sorry, or this cancer, and it's just sad. So now to know that I have two people that I'm related to. One have ovarian cancer, the other one have cancer of the same women's issue, but it's a different type of cancer. Um, but either way, we need to talk about these issues. It's scary, and black women or brown women, and this thing about insurance. And I was just saying earlier, and I didn't get to finish my thought on it, but the fact that I had insurance, I had good insurance, that really makes a difference. And of course, when I got to the hospital, I still had to. It was over $3,000 that you had to pay out of pocket. So can you imagine for the average person? The average person would have to wait until they're at the end. I mean, when I say the average person, I mean the person who don't have insurance. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say average. But for the person who doesn't have insurance, they would probably have to wait towards the end to get, if they had been diagnosed with cancer, they would have to seek out help, medical help through the city, and I mean, in terms of insurance, through city insurance or state insurance or whatever. Then they would probably have to see which hospitals will take it. Do they treat you any different when that time comes? Yes, they do. I'm sorry to say that they do. All right, I had my room, I had everything set, and I saw it between when I had state insurance, when I had my first kid out of high school. I saw the way they treated me with four other girls in a room, or three other girls in a room. That was when I had Medicaid. And when, by the time, of course, I got smart as I got older and realized that having kids wasn't the thing to do just easily. So then, of course, I was just out of high school or still in high school when I had my first kid, and then graduated that. I think I graduated that March. No, that June. I had him in that March. So I was a young mom. So I know exactly what it's like to have to be on state insurance. So I had Medicaid in New York City, and they treated you completely different because by the time I got into corporate and I started, I was in college, finished my degree, my first degree, and got into corporate America, I had great insurance. Then when I had my son at that time, my second son at that time, I was in a room by myself. I was treated completely differently. So do they treat you different? Yes, they do. I'm sorry, they do. Right. So I am my own experience. So I do know that they treat you different. So this last surgery that I had, saw the difference once again. Big whole fancy room with big whole windows. Everything was on point, and I was wondering to myself, had I not had good insurance, had I not had, that money to pay, what would have happened? Would I had to walk around with this fibroid in me for another 6 years until I came up with their $3,000? I'm thinking, people who don't have money don't have money. How long would they take to save 3,000 and something dollars? Or would I end up on state insurance to just so I can get it done? And if you work, by the way, and your salary is at a certain level, because a lot of people work and still need and don't have insurance. So if you work and your salary is at a certain level, you're not getting that state insurance. So, people are caught in this cycle of just poverty, and it's just sad. So I was thankful that I had great insurance. I was thankful that I had what it takes in order to have my surgery done. And I was treated well, and I got released 2 days later, came home to heal. And like I said, the healing process has been incredible. All right, so enough of that, but I just wanted to share that testimony before I move on to the next part. So the next part was, give me 1 second. So the next part is that um, so the project obviously came to some halt. Even before I went into the hospital, I slowed down a whole lot because I really needed time to just think it through and to make sure that everything is going to be okay, to plan things forward. Need time to financially plan with my project as well, as I continued the project and so on. So that came to a stop, like about maybe, I don't remember when it was, but I just kind of held it up and said, you know what, I'm going to revisit this when I'm ready. I'm not in a rush. Remember what I told you. I wasn't sure if I was going to open this year. I really wanted to, but then I wasn't counting out 2022 because honestly, I didn't know what was going to happen. So, and that had nothing to do with my health care. That just had to do with tactical thinking in terms of what makes sense financially, towards building, finishing the building, finishing the fence in, finishing all that stuff. So for me, I would was gonna, pull it out till 2022. I didn't mind, even though I was excited to get it started in 2021. So anyway, so we're back on track. The fence is almost done building, but I want to share just a little experience with you. So it's always something. So I knew how much it was going to cost to build the fence. I'd already gotten some quotes. So I was reevaluating, and I was thinking, I said, well, maybe I should push this project for next year, because it's going to cost a certain amount. And I think when I looked at it, it was about, oh my God, I can't even remember what quotes I got. About 600,000 to $800,000, between two different guys who I got their quotes from. All right, Guyana dollars. So I said, okay, well, am I ready to shell that out right now? Financially, am I ready to do that? Or should I wait and get this done? Because, honestly, there is no rush. I'm not heading home right now, even though I have someone on the ground that is ready to open up and do whatever. It's really not a big rush on my end. I think the person who I'm supposed to be recruiting to help out is probably more of a antsy about it. He more excited about moving it along, and I can imagine why. All right, so cool. So now that same person said, okay, well, let's start the fence. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm like, give me the quote on this, give me the quote on that, give me the quote on whatever. Because I work with numbers, I work with literal stuff, I work with paperwork. I don't work with you telling me this is what we're going to do. So I want to see things down, because then I want to come back to you to say, hey, this is what you said. And so I don't work with, oh yeah, we can get it done, and just send the money. No, 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 no. That doesn't work for me at all. This is the United States of America that I live in, and in this country, everything is documented. You have paper trail, and you make sure that your money is going where it's supposed to go, and you get receipts and everything. All right, so I'm at the hospital, and we're supposed to be starting this project back up again. So he said to me, this is the person who said to me that, okay, well, let's get it started. Um, he can do it. I wasn't going to have him do it because I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't know the skill set, and I didn't know, and I wanted this project to be a certain way. Anyways, he said $5,000 a day for each person. Is going to be about four people working on it. I said, okay, because that's way cheaper than what I had gotten quoted before. And I see that there was an opportunity. I mean, hey, who don't want that opportunity to do something cheaper than what other people are charging you? That would be dumb to say, okay, well, no, I'm not going to take you on because it's too cheap. Nah, it's like, okay, it's cheaper. Let's go with it. Um, they're still being paid, but they're being paid like the $5,000 a day contractual. It's not a contract really, but it's just $5,000 per day to do the work, the labor. All right. So here they are getting started. Everything was going smoothly. I'm sending down monies to get the job done. 500 and 400, and I'm like, okay, it's almost $400,000 or whatever. um, 500 to start because I didn't know what they were going to do. I wanted to see what they were going to do first. So I'm not going to waste my money sending it. And then next, I would rather lose $500 than to send a bunch of money. And then next thing you know, everything is a wreck. So anyway, once I saw what they were doing, I added an additional $400. Um, but again, this I know how much blocks cost. I know how much cement costs. I made sure to get everything done even prior to him telling me what it is that I needed to get done. Because I knew this information prior, but I just wanted to see what he would say. He told me he could get the blocks for cheaper. I didn't really, I didn't believe it. Like, I didn't think he was lying, but I think maybe he hoped to get it done cheaper, but I'd already calculated $80 per block. I had already I already had the price for the bale of cement that they would need, and I already knew that they needed wiring because he told me they needed wiring and they needed steel, and I asked how much the steels were. Blah blah blah, 20 inch or whatever it is, 20 inches or whatever, and how many of those. He didn't tell me how many of those he would need, but he did say to me that they would need a certain amount. But he would tell me, he would follow up with me and let me know. He never got back to me on it. So again, I'm still being cautious, sending the money, sending whatever I want to or feel safe with until I see. But anyway, as I began to see more and more progress, I'm like, okay, well, I can actually trust them to do this because it actually looks really good. So I said, all right, no problem. Now, here's where the issue came in. So now this week, I'd already told him that I'm sending a certain amount of money this week, so that way they can get the job completed. He sent me a text last week to say send $1,000 more and the job will be done. So I said, okay, well, we agreed to a certain amount, but okay, it's fine because hey, I'm getting it done dirt cheap. What am I complaining about? I shouldn't be. So I decided that I don't know. I did. I said, okay, I'm gonna send it this week. So that was last week. He sent a message. So I told him I'm gonna send some money this week here, because I have to. There is something with when these people see too much money going in all at one time that I've already been blocked from Western Union, and now and unless I go to the store, and I can't go anywhere because I can't drive, I can't do anything. So the last thing I need is for them to block me on MoneyGram as well, because I'm not only working with that part of the project, I'm working with the other parts as well, such as the bar and so on. So it's not one person I'm sending money to; it's more than one person. All right. So at this point, it's about three people that I'm sending monies to. So I have to be careful now about how I send it because next they block me completely, and I can't get to send any money, and I can't go anywhere for the next 3 weeks. So, and it's 6 weeks recuperating time. So, except for my doctor, my husband drove me and he's at work again. So I can't just drive around myself to do anything. So even though I feel good, I don't want to take it because my stitches can go loose, and I'm not taking that chance. I don't want to go under operation all over again. So let's just keep going. So now he calls me up this week. Um, I don't even know what happened this weekend. We had a discussion on Messenger, and when I on one of the messaging services that I use, and when I went back, I noticed that he said something about, I spent $700,000. I didn't see it. God must have sheltered me from that, because I would have just lost it on him. I know I would have, honestly, but I didn't see that part. I just kind of was telling him, hey, we got to get this done, we got to get that done, and everything else. I'll make sure you get the guy to dig the septic tank hole. Can we have someone who can build the septic tank? Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, with that said, so this is the drama of doing business, okay? And trying to get the projects done overseas, and people thinking that you're somehow in the dark. And I told you guys when I first got here that I'm very, very familiar. Like, I've been doing stuff in Guyana forever. So, I don't want anyone to think that I'm here as a novice. I'm not. I'm very, very familiar. And if I don't know it, someone that I do know knows the answer. So it's not that I know everything, but that's why I have people around me who knows, so that way I can call on them whenever it is that I don't know. And these are honest people, and they'll tell me the truth. All right. So, anyways, I know all the details that I need to for this project. First of all, there was a comment about, one of the guys who are supposed to be the main person for the fence, saying he doesn't like the structure and he don't think the guy knows what he's doing, or whatever it is that he was saying. So I said, listen, I am a professor, and for me, I would tell you right now that two professors will have two different approaches to doing to lecture, and to also in terms of curriculum building. And I said, one professor may think that's the worst thing, and the other one may think that's the best thing. So we all have differences of opinion. So he may be a contractor and he may can build, but the fact is that I told my contractor what I want, and he's building it according to what I say. So he's not doing anything wrong. If he thinks structurally that there's something wrong, that's on him. But I told my contractor what I want. My contractor is doing his job. And to me, it's approved. So I'm not concerned about this guy who comes in now to tell me that there's something wrong with what my contractor is doing. Am I supposed to take away from my contractor now to say, oh, well, you go build it? I'm not going to do that, because I trust my contractor. He's done everything right so far. So I am just sitting there enjoying his work. Why are you over here complaining about that? You got hired to do the fence. Focus on the fence. Stay in your lane. All right. Okay. So, and it's nothing wrong with saying, well, we're giving an opinion, but honestly, I wasn't interested in hearing it. Okay, so that was, I'm not upset, because I'm one of those people. I'm a lecturer. I get opinions all the time about different subject matters. So it's not, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be upset about it. Not upset at all, but just looking at how things played out. So now comes up to the following conversation. Didn't see that he said, like I said, didn't see that he said he spent $700,000. Got to this week, he sent me a message saying, hey, we're doing this whole project. You didn't even try to find out how in the world we got it done. I'm like, what are you talking about? How do you think you got everything done? If I didn't send you the money to buy the things, you wouldn't be able to get it done. So in other words, I guess he's hinting to me that he spent money. So I said, hey, you know what, bro? Send me your receipts, because I am willing to pay you back your money if you spent. Okay. Now I know he didn't spend $700,000, because the materials of itself didn't cost $700,000. Okay. I know what the materials cost. I know what blocks cost. I know what cement costs. I know what everything costs. And I know I only need about 1,000 blocks, 1,000 to 1,200 blocks to get this done. 80 times 1,200. I already calculated it. He said 1,000. I even put 200 more on top of it. Okay. I know. Okay. So you said you bought 70 steel. I know that that was $79,000. I know that cement, or a bale of cement, is whatever it is, 17,000 or whatever that is. So where in the world do you come up with $700,000? Don't know. Oh man, I was so pissed yesterday. I mean, if you cut me, you would probably find nothing at all. I was so upset. I said, okay, well, send me the receipts. He went out, bought some carbon copy, some crap, wrote up on it. I said, yo, even in Guyana, I do business all the time. Their receipts in Guyana, let me say something. It's detailed. I don't know if you've ever done anything there. Like there, it's far more detailed because they're right. You know, everything is written up. So they still have that old modern, I mean, old, old ways of doing things where they write things up. Trust me, when I buy from Gafours, when I buy from different places, I mean, I've been doing my granny house. I spent over 30,000 US dollars in my granny's house, upgrading it. So I know from windows to building her room, doing all that stuff. I already know, right? I have my nonprofit over there. I'm always buying stuff, doing different things. I don't know where he got this idea from that he can just tell me. And I mean, this is somebody from here. This is somebody from here who went down there to, again, to get back into the culture, get back into just living there, period. Where do you get $700,000 from? I said, first of all, that is not a receipt. I know what receipts look like. What I get it from, my receipts come from La Parkin to any other shipping company to any industrialized company that's there in terms of, whether it's getting stuff from the lumber yard, wherever it is. The receipts are very detailed and they have a certain what do you call it, professional look to it. Don't write something up on some paper and send it to me. What do I look like? You think I went to school all these years so that you can send that to me and I supposed to believe it? Man, listen, I can't bother with people on this stupidness. Well, the way I see it is, if you said you spend that, take me to court, and then we're gonna see what the judge says, because I know for sure the judge is gonna throw your claim out. Okay. Anyway, so now I'm thinking, should I move forward with this person? They have to finish the fence. It's going to be finished this week, hopefully by over the weekend. So and no, and probably into Monday, hopefully. So it's going to be finished, but I'm sending him enough money to buy the rest of the blocks. He says he needs 500 more blocks, and he also says that he needs 10 cements. Don't ask me why he needs 10 bags of cement, but maybe he does. Okay, whatever. So I'm not gonna question it, because the way I see it, this 10 bags of cement is 17,000. I'm still getting, this project at a cheap price. So even if he's not buying the cements with that $100, whatever, it's a tip. So I'm just gonna send him the 300 for the rest of that, and then also send him an additional 500 to pay. And by the way, to pay the guys that are going to finish up the project. And then what I'm going to do is personally carry a tip down to each of the guys when I go down in for the holidays, because I do think that I got the job for a cheap price. But here's what I think happened. I think that he started building the fence initially, and the money that I sent definitely paid for the what I need, and I'll also help pay for the labor, right? However, I think what happened is that he realized not only is the fence coming out really nicely, but that a job like that actually would cost more. I didn't tell him that that I'd already gotten the price and that it was heavy, way heavier than they're charging me. But I went with them because it was cheaper. All right, because if it wasn't cheaper, I would just walk away and then wait until, maybe because I was reconsidering, like I said, to wait until next year to either launch or open and without a fence. I was thinking about just doing plants and using different kind of things, because like I told you, I'm not going into my savings to do this. This is totally out of my pocket, and I need to keep everything in tandem. And of course, I still have responsibilities here, so I'm not over there showering with money, saying, "Okay, well, I can just get this done." I am doing it precisely the way I can and as affordable as I can. And I'm being very transparent with you. So for me, it's about taking it out of pocket, from my, you know, either my passive pay or passive funds that I have. Like when I do events, I take it out of there. I take it out of my check. I do different things. So that's how I get it. So this is not going into savings, borrowing a loan, doing anything. So this is totally done from my out of pocket. So that means I need to constantly keep up with my budget, making sure everything is okay, making sure that everybody's paid, making sure that every material is bought. So, and it gets costly. However, it's still cheap compared to what I would do if I was to do something here in the US. So that's why I am continuing with this project. Anyway, so let's finish that conversation up and get to where I am. So the fence is almost done. We've got the front done, the sides done, the back is the only part that has to get done. Looks really good. The building is going to take I think maybe another 3 weeks to get done because I'm just starting back with everything. I'm looking forward to that. The bar is going to be oh god, the guy started building I think last week. That he started building. Like I said, once I got out of the hospital and I started to feel good all over again, I got back rolling. So he started the project last week. So he at that bar, he charged me so that you would know. He charged me $900. Wait a minute, no, what is that? Okay, no, $1,800 to bill it. So because I had to pay 900 up front, and then I have to pay him the final 900 when he installs it. So that's US dollars, right? So $1,800 to bill it. But I've got a lot going on with this bar. So I think it's three parts to it. There's the front, the back, and then the corner. So for $1,800, it's a steal for me. If you could have gotten it cheaper, then or you can get it cheaper from someone else, that's great. And so the only thing that I have to do is buy the granite countertop, and he sent me it, and I believe for all three, it's about $80,000. So that would be about $400. So, and I can go cheaper. I don't have to have granite, but I want granite, so I'm gonna go with that, and that's for $400. I don't think it's bad. So, and it's the bar is 9 feet long, for all three sides, and what is it? They've got pull out drawers, rolling drawers, everything, or just standalone area where you don't need to. All you do open the door and put things inside for higher bottles or storage or whatever. And granite is going right around. So that for $400, I'm good. All right. So we are. So that is going to be installed on by mid-November. So he should have that done, and then let me see. Building should be done by then. The doors I've priced. Found out Gafours have the doors. I contacted them through Facebook, in case you're wondering how I'm doing all this. So they Facebook Messenger from Gafours. I contacted them, and they give me the price. And so the double glass door, it's about 250 US. I'm so sorry, but 250 US dollars. Excuse me. Um, and then the swing door, the single one, I didn't get the price in, but I can imagine it's probably going to be half the price. Because if the double is 250, then I would think that the single would be maybe about $125 or so. All right. So the doors have to be installed by before the bar goes in. So I'm going to get the doors, get them installed as soon as the building is done. So that means the building has to be done before the bar goes in as well. The guy also offered me to the same one who's doing the bar. He also offered me to polish the floors. Because I really wanted that natural wood look. So he's going to polish the floors. I don't know how much he's going to charge. I don't think it's going to be more than maybe 200 US dollars to get that done. Um, so I'm gonna have to find out from him. I asked him the price, but I don't think he noticed my question. And then also, my dad was telling me to um, do the walls, kind of seal the walls. So I'll ask him if he can buy the seal. And get it done, or if they have the seal in Guyana. I'm pretty sure they do. I don't think there's nothing is down there, because my dad says it gives a rich look without the paint. All right, so and that's what I was looking for, to maintain the wood look, because I wanted that natural wood look inside, but still give it a nice sheen. So, but not with that polished look like the floor has, because that's not what I'm looking for on the wall. I really wanted natural wood. All right, but I need something that still makes it kind of. I don't know if you ever seen one of those. Well, all of us have seen country log homes or those log homes that they're really, really nice and shiny looking. So that's what I was looking for. And my wood that I used when I shared with you guys was green heartwood. So it's good wood. It's good quality. It's the best that Guyana has to offer. So that will last for forever. Okay. So I want to just seal it off. I don't think that's going to cost a whole lot, but I'm going to update you on the pricing for those as I go along. And then let me see what else I got to do. Um, I'm also considering how to do the food in the very beginning. Should I order out because I'm going to take a little while to do my kitchen because I wanted the kitchen to be different. So I may just, to invest in the community once again. I can probably just order food from, my some local folks. Invest into them, into their business, right? So that they can prepare it for my lunch and my dinner menu, and then have that sent over each day, so that we can serve lunch and dinner, on facility. And then to keep in mind, most of the stuff is finger food, so it's not like heavy food or anything like that. It's going to be chicken tenders and different things like that, and fish and fries and plantain, anything to do with, again, just things that are appetizer kind of thing. I will create a more of a menu later on, as and probably a keto diet menu and different things as I do my kitchen or as I complete my kitchen, and as I get a chef in there. But in the beginning, I think I'll just use the staff to just serve the food. And so inside of the facility, it's still looking good, still looking sexy, as I said. So inside of the facility, where I can picture that I would have one, two, three, four tables. Oh, and I've got this wonderful, oh my God, you should see it. So I'm creating like a VIP lounge, right? And let me see if I can find it. So I want to create this VIP lounge, and I will create this VIP lounge because I have enough space to do it. And I want to have this beautiful couch in VIP. All right, so this is where it is. This is like the color of the bar. See that royal blue? That's what the color of the bar is going to look like. All right, so that is a clock that I'm going to be using at the back of the bar. Bought it for about $50, somewhere online. I saw it and fell in love. So it kind of inspired the rest of the colors that I have. For those of you who have never seen the concept, um, oh boy, this isn't good. All right. Anyway, I'll see. I'm really good bad at editing, but that was like what the bar would look like. um, but let me see downloads. I'm looking for this. It's funny when you really want something, you can't find it. Have you gone through that? I know we all did, because I am looking for. And I got my garbage cans, and I have covers for my garbage cans, so that way they are not like looking like just garbage cans. So I'm actually shipping those down, so they're actually big whole buckets, right? But with that, I covered them. I got some from, because I'm an events planner, if you don't already know. So I'm into this stuff anyway. So my garbage cans are, they have covers, and it looks really, because I'm creating this lounge that is supposed to be very sexy and very clean, and it's going to look a certain way. So I got covers for my garbage cans too, and they actually hugs the garbage can really nicely, and looks more like a part of the decor rather than just just garbage cans sitting around. So this is what the garbage can would look like, and it wasn't that expensive. See the focus. Yeah. So it wasn't that expensive to actually get the covers. So it was like $10 for the cover. All right. So those are really cute. once again falls into the decor. Oh, there you go. That chair that I've been, well, more like a couch. So remember that royal blue that I told you about? Okay, let me see. My focus is a little bit off. Anyway, so this will be in my VIP lounge. And it's a tufted couch. Melania, I believe it is. I don't remember who the designer is, but it is really pretty. So the bar of itself. So let me show you a picture of the well, some music of where would that be? Yeah, somewhere here. All right. So a couple of weeks ago, I got the name um, crafted from a someone online. I think it was Etsy that I got it from. Yeah, and I paid maybe $160 for this. But let me show you. I want to be very transparent with with this project, and I want people to know that they can do this too. And I've been doing this whole project for a total of maybe um, I don't know if it's 7 months. Well, what month is this? This is the 10th month. So did I start it in March? I believe it was March that I started it. You can probably go back to my live and see because I don't remember. Um, anyways, let me show you. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right, hold on. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, this is what happened when you have no editing skills whatsoever. So and you're live. So if once you're live, it's kind of hard to do anything. And I don't want to do it in editing where I have to edit because I don't know what I'm doing with editing anyway. So I might as well do my live and try to show you guys what I can. All right, let's see. All right, I've got it here. I just need to try to focus it a little. Hold on. All right, that's funny. Oh my god. All right, yeah, that's still bad. Hold up. Oh, that's horrible. All right, so what I'll probably end up doing is what I did is what she crafted, I laid it down at my fireplace and I'm showing it in the video. But that's really horrible. You can't see it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop it. So I'll probably what I'll do is I'll just make a little thing so you can see what I was able to buy. And it's the name of the my bistro, and once again she crafted the name, and this is gonna go towards the back of the bar. That is also in royal blue, and the chair is in royal blue, which is not gonna be far away from the bar, and let me see what else is in royal blue. The bar is in royal blue. Now I'm gonna do outside of the facility. I decided to paint it in blue, royal blue, and green. So the two sides, and the green is an olive green, so it's not just any green. It's like a nice olive green. So the two sides will be royal blue, and the front and the back will be olive green. The inside isn't going to be painted, like I said. It's going to be sealed, natural wood, and but the floor is going to be polished. Okay. I've already done my invitation list, so I'm only having about 30 people. It's still COVID. It's going to be starting. It's going to be on. I'm launching this year, so yeah. So I'm on track to launch this year. I've got stuff to ship, a whole bunch of stuff to ship. So and I can't do anything because I'm recovering. So I have to call this guy who I worked with for many years at Le Parkin, so he can come meet me at my storage. At least by next week, I'll feel safer getting out and driving. My storage is literally like a quarter of a mile. It's not gonna. I just have to tie my waist up as the doctor, have prescribed. Like I have this band that is around it to make sure that my stitches don't go loose. I won't be lifting anything, so he'll just come upstairs with me in my storage, because my husband is at work. He wants me to do it on a Saturday, but it's hard doing anything at Le Parkin on a Saturday. It takes up a lot of time, and I still have to go over to Le Parkin and get the paperwork done. So I don't want to deal with that on a Saturday at all. So I would rather just do it during the week when it's more relaxed, especially at such a time. So I'll have the guy come and take everything out of the storage. I've got so many things, light-ins, different things that I have to send. And so he'll get that over to the park and send everything down, ship it directly. And that's another thing. I have to order the chair. So I'm trying to see when to order the chair because I want the chair to go directly to La Parkin. So I can't have it sitting there at La Parkin. I have to be able to have it deliver and then be able to show up like maybe within that day or by no later than the next day, to get it paid off, and ready to ship, right? So I'm trying to calculate when I'm good enough, when I can get the young man to come over, on which I'm thinking next week, and also trying to make sure that I don't run into the Christmas holidays, which takes more time to ship things. So I want to see if I can do this by the first week of November, no later than the first week of November. So it could be next week. Um, by Friday, I can have him do this, or definitely by early the following week. So everything is on point. I'm still going to get started. Like I said, I'm going to launch. So I've invited the mayor of Linden to come to the ribbon cutting. I've invited some very interesting characters, whom I've been friends with for some time, um, either virtually or in real life. And I only have, like I said, about 33 people. Um, if you are interested in coming to my launch party, let me know. You can email me at Donat, D as in Donat, or David, D as in David, O, N as in Nancy, ETTE, 2003 at yahoo.com. So email me and let me know. I'm still not going over too many people. So I think I have gifts for about um, 40 people. So I think I can go up to 40 people. And my cake that I'm doing, it's going to cover the opening night's cake. I already that I already ordered. I already ordered my food for the opening. I already ordered my cake for the opening. I did everything. Like I'm not playing around because this is going to be December, mid-December that I'm opening. So I didn't want to run in Christmas, too close to Christmas, because I know them Guyanese people be like all into their Christmas, and they're not trying to not break down their house and fix it back up and all that kind of stuff. So see, my house, wherever you see is wherever you get. I'm bringing a new couch next week, and that's it. And I just bought this couch like last year during COVID, and I redid my entire house last year, or my entire unit. And for those of you who don't know, I had said previously that we downsized after the kids left, and we're over here in a very small place, and just closer to the beach, so that makes me happy. So even though it's not as huge as we usually have, it's just me and my husband. So I just redesigned the whole place. Since I'm a decorator, it's just at my heart to always have nice designs. So I try to, do things that I like and that brings me out. So I have a whole little, studio decor kind of thing going on here, art studio decor kind of thing going on, black and white. All right. So, anyways, with that said, everything is set. Everything is set. God's willing, everything will go through smoothly. I am putting it out there, just saying that it's going to be good. It's going to be a nice launch party. Everything should be ready. I think I want to paint the fence, or have the fence designed with different artists, but I'm not going to take that on until next year. I think it's a major project and is going to cost more financially, and I'm not ready for it financially. So therefore, I will do it next year. So with that part of the project, I have already consulted with an artist, and what he would do is paint certain people. So the idea for the fence is to have certain artists. I may have mentioned it before, but I want to do folks like definitely Bob Marley, definitely our own Eddie Grant. I'm going to put on there, maybe Tina Turner, very influential black artists. Definitely, I'm going to put Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra, because I just feel like as though, when if you want to become like a mecca for everyone or create a mecca, you got to really have that cultural influence that tells people they're all welcome. And whether they're coming from overseas, whether they're white, they're black, whatever it is, their background is, they're welcome. And I don't want anyone to feel, and I think that the conversation is going to be a good conversational starter, for people who walk in. The outside is still going to be with cocktail tables and all that nice stuff and lightings on top and everything. Well, above head, is going to be open, right? I forgot to mention, I bought my movie. What would I call it? Well, I'm gonna be projecting movie on a screen, so I bought my screen, which is about 17 feet high, and it's really really wide out. So that is gonna be shipped down too. So we're gonna be having movie nights as well, and playing probably things from YouTube and so on. Now, the other thing that I haven't spoken to you guys about is the electricity, because it's a new building. So I'm still trying to get the construction on the electricity. I've worked with another young lady before for my grandma's building. I'd already consulted her, so I think I'm going to use her. But she's really, really good. Um, she's one of the better ones that works in the hospital there in Linden, in terms of electrical engineers. So she's really good. She's also like family, but more like step family kind of thing. But she's really really good. So I may go with her, but there is also like two other people that I can choose from. Depends on what their pricing is. So that's part of that. So we still have to dig the septic tank, and we also have to have water on the facility. So I have to buy one of those big black tanks, or two of those big black tanks, and um, have that filled up. Um, Hopefully, I don't know if there are trucks there that can fill those up, because if it's not raining, I don't know, or maybe connect to a neighbor's pipe or something like that. I don't know what in the world I'm gonna do with the water. I'm kind of wondering how in the world that they're gonna handle that part of it. But I'm gonna have my builder work with that, because I'm not sure. But anyway, there is a neighbor right next door, so I don't see, if he's got water, there must be a way we can get water to the building. So connecting to his, or whatever we got to do, running the pipes. If I don't think people will be mad if you want to pay them to connect to their, because they already have a connection, so you might as well connect to them, right? So I think maybe we'll have to pay him some money to try to get the water over to my facility. I don't know how it's going to work, but either way, we got to get water there. And the bathroom has to be built. And so good thing is that these guys don't take long to do anything, so that's good. So I'm having the double bathroom outside, with flush and toilet, of course. So that has to be done. So I'm trying to, but there's nothing that has to be done that can be done within the next 2 months. So it's gonna be flawless. That's my thing. All right. So pretty much that's it. I don't know. I've been here for over an hour. My God, talking, talking, talking. But if you have any comments, please leave your comments. I got a few of you in here. So thank you for hanging with me, listening to my health scare, and my process of my surgery, and just women talk period, and advising your own the women in your own lives about fibroids and removal of the tubes and possibly ovaries, and understanding that we can become, if your ovary isn't healthy, you wouldn't know until, if you don't have your tubes, you wouldn't know until the end. So be careful with that, and make sure that you talk to your physician. Of course, none of what I said is, doctoral advice from me, but just what I research or what my doctor have said. But not putting it out there as medical advice, but just kind of alerting you that it's some things to look at and to talk to your own doctor or your own physician about. Okay. Um, Anything else that I have to mention? Not really. I mean, you know, it's been good. And although I went through everything, I came out and I'm here and I'm healthy and I'm happier. And not going to not running to the bathroom like, it's time to rain because of the fibroids being so big. All righty, guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'll be updating you once again as time go on. But if you again are interested in, you're on my live and you're interested in coming, um, I'm gonna choose who I'm gonna take, obviously, because I have certain people that are gonna be there, and I need a certain type of crowd there. So more mature crowd, people who are responsible, not people who are just gonna show up and not be responsible. So. Um, there are important people there for me, and I want to make sure that those people don't feel uncomfortable in any way. All right. So thank you. Have a good one and take care. Blessed day. Bye bye.